Now at 4, Hurricane Ian making landfall in southwestern Florida within the last hour before churning up the East Coast. Right now, the Category 4 storm is battering Florida's coast. And we are tracking Hurricane Ian's approach to the Carolinas after leaving that path of destruction in Florida. You're taking a live look at Charleston. You see the Ravenel Bridge. Well, the camera is shaking because of that wind, but that is nothing compared to what is to come. Charleston expected to take a direct hit from Hurricane Ian. Thanks so much for joining us for the news at 4. We have a lot to get to. I'm Carolyn Bruck. This is all happening after what's been a devastating 24 hours in Florida. We've all seen the images on TV and online showing horrific damage. Now, one of the areas that have been hardest hit is Sanibel Island. You're looking at a bridge there that just collapsed, leaving people stranded.
Please tell me you were recording.
And that just shows you the power of this storm. This is further north in Jacksonville, where that's a sign on a shopping center, and it just takes a tumble down. And in the midst of all this destruction, you're seeing moments of overwhelming kindness. Take a look at this. One reporter in Orlando rescuing a nurse who was driving through those floodwaters trying to get to work. That reporter, named Tony Atkins, he carried that woman out of the high water on his back. Just incredible. And even as this was downgraded this morning to a tropical storm, Ian, it's still massive. So you're probably asking, what am I looking at right now? Well, this is Ian from space. It's the view of the storm from the International Space Station. It shows you just how massive it is. To prepare, we're learning that CMS students will be at home tomorrow. It will be a remote learning day. Several school districts in South Carolina will also be learning remotely tomorrow, and that includes Fort Mill, Rock Hill schools, and also the York School District. We've got a full list of all the schools that have decided to go to remote learning. You can find that right now on WCNC.com. And as our area braces for the impacts of Ian, we are learning that more events are now being canceled or postponed as a result. And that includes the Concord International Festival, the Moo and Brew Festival, and the Autumn Jubilee in Rowan County. Carowinds also will be closed tomorrow. You can find a full list of all the events being impacted by Ian. Just go to our website, WCNC.com. Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. Well, Brad, you have been in the weather center. You've seen all the destruction that Ian has left behind. What can we expect as it heads our way?
You know, Friday's going to be a rough day here with strong winds and heavy rain. We won't see nearly the destruction we saw in Florida, but this is still a significant system heading our way. It's a tropical storm right now. It has reemerged off the east coast of Florida. You could see it kind of jogging to the east, and this is an interesting trend. If this continues to push to the east, this actually is better news for us up here in the western Carolinas. Not great news for coastal South Carolina and North Carolina. It is drifting to the north-northeast right now at 9 miles per hour. Again, tropical storm strength, 70-mile-per-hour winds, a much weaker system. Doesn't really look like a hurricane right now. It's kind of lopsided. We've got some dry air on the southern side of the system and kind of looks more like a nor'easter, and that's kind of what it's transitioning to because the wind field is huge. These are the tropical storm force winds. They extend well off to the north and east of the center, and that's what's already battering the coast of South and North Carolina. The winds we have today, not directly associated with the system yet. It's more the cold front and high pressure over us, but as it tracks to the north, those strong winds, as it could re-intensify to a minimal hurricane, moving inland around Charleston and then up towards the Charlotte area as it weakens, but it's moving quick enough that it's going to bring those strong winds inland as well as a threat for heavy rain. We are now under a tropical storm warning, basically because we expect tropical storm force winds 39 miles per hour or higher for most of tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, and that heavy rain 3 to 6 inches. And because of the heavy rain, you can couple that with the flash flood watch for most of the Piedmont for tomorrow up until noontime on Saturday. It will not feel like a tropical system. It'll feel like a nor'easter, which is cold and windy. Look at those temperatures. Mid to upper 50s with gusty winds and heavy rain through most of tomorrow. Coming up, though, there's some good news. The weekend looks better. I'll explain why coming up in that detailed forecast.